Bryan Gaiser is an investment advisor representative of Advisory Alpha LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor. All opinions expressed by Bryan Gaiser are solely his own opinions and do not reflect the opinions of Advisory Alpha. This recording is for informational purposes only and should not be relied upon for investment decisions. Investment advisory and financial planning services offered through Advisory Alpha LLC, a registered investment advisor. Insurance, coaching, and educational services offered through Gaiser Financial Group. Gaiser Financial Group is a separate and unaffiliated entity of Advisory Alpha LLC. While tax and legal services may be discussed in the general course of financial and investment planning, Advisory Alpha does not provide tax or legal services. Please consult with your tax or legal professional prior to making decisions related to these issues. This material is not endorsed or approved by the Social Security Office or any other government agency. An annuity is a long-term financial product designed largely for asset accumulation and retirement needs. All guarantees are backed by the claims-paying ability of the issuing insurance company. All opinions expressed by externally cited sources are solely their own opinions and do not reflect the opinions of Advisory Alpha. This is for informational purposes only and should not be relied upon for investment decisions. The case studies presented reflects the specific circumstances of one client and should not be considered a guarantee that another client or potential client may experience the same or certain level of results. This is for informational purposes only and should not be construed as investment recommendations or solicitation. Names have been changed to protect the anonymity of clients and are not testimonials in nature. Learn, grow, and take charge of your retirement. This is the Wealth Thru Wisdom podcast with financial advisor Bryan Gaiser, founder of Gaiser Financial Group.
Obviously, hardworking, responsible people here all around the Piedmont Triad. Folks listening to you on 94.5 every single week. We're consumers. We're out in the world. We're trying to be responsible, but the headlines that keep coming at us, Bryan, can feel intimidating, can feel overwhelming, and especially in a world of 24-hour news cycles, it's hard to shut it off. Despite what you say, you talk about it here on the radio each week. It's like, don't look at the headlines. Focus on what you can control, right?
You have to. I mean, what is your choice? You're in a world that just comes at you. It's advertising to you geopolitically. It's advertising to you when you don't think it's advertising to you. Yeah. Now with AI, all the information coming at us has just become too much. What was going to make our lives easier has made our lives way more difficult.
Right.
You know, right. I love simplicity. So getting back to simplicity is where we need to be.
And I love technology, and I keep wanting it to create more streamlined, more processes, more opportunities. But you do. I just social media, right? I'll go to look something up on social media. I'm like, oh, what's that thing? I saw this window blind thing that I want to look up. And before I know it, I've been on there for 20 minutes scrolling through something, and I never even looked at the thing that I was originally getting there for, Bryan.
No, it's true. Guilty. And then you can't even remember the thing that you originally were looking for.
What was I? Why am I here? What was I doing? If you're feeling this way, if you're laughing along with us, listening to us on the radio, it's good to know that we're amongst friends. You're not alone.
Right.
Well, let's talk about the headlines that are going on right now, because the economy is feeling the oil shock of the war in Iran. It's estimated that sustained oil prices above $100 a barrel will add nearly 1 percentage point to headline inflation. This is portfolio manager Jason Katz on Fox Business.
What's not complex is that stocks go up when oil goes down and vice versa. The patient, the U.S. economy, is in very good shape to fight the disease of oil. Economy are growing above trend, unemployment below 4.5%, earnings likely to grow 12 to 15%. So investors have to distinguish between these front page risks and bottom line results.
You know that famous Mr. Rogers line where he says when he was growing up and he would see moments of crisis and his mom taught him to look for the helpers? I feel that's the kind of energy Jason Katz was just pointing out, Bryan, the idea of no matter what's happening in the world, there is always opportunity. Focus on what you can control. So how do you do that for folks? How do you help them see past headlines and focus on what they actually can control?
You know, if you focus on headlines, you will go crazy because they are there to sell papers. They're there to keep you tuned in and all of these other kind of variables. It reminds me of a client that had come in one time and he had talked about, the reason I'm here, Bryan, because you said something I believed in for the last decade. That is, when I retire, take care of income first. As long as my income meets all my needs and then some, I know I'll be okay, because when things are a little bumpy inside my growth world, I'm not supposed to touch that all the time anyways. Only every so often after I've had a nice run do I want to sweep some over to my income side, he said. And he said, when you mention surplus income and retirement, it just rang a bell with me. because no matter what's going on, whether we're going through, 2022 when the market pulled back and, oh no, the end of the world, the sky's falling, Chicken Little, all of the crap that comes out, no different than right now. This war is supposed to end in 2 weeks. No one ever said those kind of things. You got to kind of take a step back and just say, look, people are going to serve themselves. So just kind of take a step back, take a breath. There's nothing you can do about any of that. You got to let the cards fall where they may on that side. But the bottom line is, he said, as long as I have that surplus income, I can pull back because I have a couple extra $1,000 a month coming in. I can pull back, not spend money over here, not spend money over there, maybe delay a trip. Right now, I'd delay a trip with TSA. But anyway,
right? But the airport security alone.
Oh, it's just, that's what I liked about what he's saying. He says you got to get focused on get your income right in retirement. Sounds a little off subject, but it really isn't. It's spot on. He says, as long as I focus on that and allow the growth to take care of itself with good diversification, continuous reinvestment through my dividends, I know I'll be okay, just like I was in 22. He's been a client for about 12 years.
Okay.
And that kind of thing is so huge and works so well. Folks, it really is about proper planning around income, planning around growth, so that these things like, we hit $100 a barrel, inflation goes up 1%. Well, you'll have more control over that if you don't have a lot of debt, those kind of variables. 336-586-5861, 336-586-5861. Come in, sit down with us. Let's look at your big picture. What Gaiser Financial is really good at is within a short period of time of being here, we'll get the big picture of what your situation is. It's not so concerning of what my situation is. I care about you. So we'll put the spotlight on you and look at your big picture. What will your income look like in retirement? Is it enough? Is it surplus? We'll answer those questions, because the answer to those questions will determine whether you have a successful retirement or not, how much longer you have to work. Should you have a part-time job in retirement? 336-586-5861. Let's build a plan built for you. And I'm not going to pull any punches, and I'm not going to be gray. It's going to be black and white. It's going to be clear what has to happen for you to have the retirement you want. But, that's really what it is right there, Heather. It's all about, hey, if you get your income right, your growth will take care of itself, and you won't make these knee-jerk, especially right, the way things were a little bumpy this past week. Yeah. You won't make a knee-jerk decision in that area because your income stream is going to not change. You've got to have pullback in the market in order to make it go forward and reach new highs. Just like in 22, we came down. It was about a 15, 16 month window there that your portfolio pulled back. Yeah. If you leaned more towards growth, but then we hit new highs in 24. So you see what I mean? Yep. So after 23, when it came back the next year, we had new highs. And that's what happens when you have a pullback, 10, 15%. It went back about 20 and back in 22. But the point is, that's what it's about. That's the game you're playing. So this is part of it. This is your opportunity to grow. It's your opportunity for your dividends to buy better deals. Yeah. Make sense?
Yep. Well, looking for the opportunity as we started the conversation, obviously that's what we need to be doing no matter what's going on. And as you're listening, if you're ready to be able to have a plan in place so that you don't have to be watching the news, you're not sitting there stressed out all the time, that's what Bryan is here to help you figure out. We've opened up 5 spots on the calendar just for radio listeners today. So call right now. Let's begin the conversation about your own retirement plan, one that is working for you despite what's happening in the headlines, despite what's happening in Washington or Wall Street, working for you here in the Piedmont Triad on a local level. That's what Bryan and his team are doing, and they want to do for you as well. 336-586-5861 is the number to dial. 336-586-5861. Bryan, let's touch on, because we haven't done it in a little while, let's touch on what happens in that first conversation, that first meeting for somebody who calls in, sets some time on the calendar, and then it begins with an initial conversation, ask some questions. And then after that, I think that starts on the phone, and then you set up the time to come into the office, right?
Right. When folks call in, they'll take your information. I'll get right back with you, myself or one of my staff members. And we send you out a financial assessment that's very clean. It's not asking about account numbers, any of that stuff. So that we got a big picture of what your situation looks like.
Okay.
your ideal time when you would like to retire. And then we just plug in the numbers and what will it take for you to retire? What type of return? We try to look for the lowest amount of return. So what is it? 4%? Is it 6%? Is it 7%? What has to happen? What type of return in order to have the lifestyle you want?
Okay.
And then from that, we can start discussing, why do you want that? Well, I want to be able to go to Europe, because it's really all about that. It's not the money, it's what you do with that money.
Yeah.
I want to do more mission. I got a client that all he wants to do, or he and his wife, I should say, they want to do missions. They want to do missions.
Love
Their
that.
kid is now 23 and doing missions.
Love it.
That's what they want. That's where their excitement comes in, and when they can go into a community for 2 or 3 weeks and make a difference and then move on.
Yep.
And he'll retire in about a year or two and be able to do that at that level. His job is very accommodating, if you will, right now. When he does a mission, they will let him off a little extra time. So
Nice.
I just think whatever it is that you say, that would be the ideal retirement. We try to build the whole conversation around that, Heather, so that folks can truly, get in the moment. Get in the moment. You got to feel what you want, and then you back up to today and you go forward. I'm a big reverse engineer.
Yeah.
What do you want? Now let's come back here. Let's make that happen.
Yeah.
And so depending on your overall, but I'm also going to be very blunt and say, you want this, but I'm going to tell you right now, you got to work to 86. You're
So
way
maybe
off
let's come
on
up
this
with a new
one,
goal.
or whatever the case. And that's not my favorite conversation,
No, I know.
I would rather tell them early so that they can kind of,
Adjust.
okay, I can tweak this and tweak that and only have to work to 70.
Yeah.
But I mean, it really, and I'm teasing and joking around a little bit, but it's true. It's true. Folks, 336-586-5861. If you want truth, if you want someone that's going to be black and white with you, no gray involved, it's going to say, here's what you told me you want. Here's what's exciting to you. Here's how to put a dollar on it so that you can make that happen relative to your Social Securities, your pensions, the savings that you have in retirement. What kind of debt do you have that you should get rid of before you retire? If you just want, straightforward answers, that's what we do here at Gaiser Financial Group. We're right here in Greensboro, right off Dolly Madison Road, right off of Friendly. So give us a call, 336-586-5861, 336-586-5861. Write that number down.
Thanks for listening to the Wealth Thru Wisdom podcast. To learn more, visit geiserfinancial.com. Bryan Gaiser is an investment advisor representative of Advisory Alpha LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor. All opinions expressed by Bryan Gaiser are solely his own opinions and do not reflect the opinions of Advisory Alpha. This recording is for informational purposes only and should not be relied upon for investment decisions. Investment advisory and financial planning services offered through Advisory Alpha LLC, a registered investment advisor. Insurance, coaching, and educational services offered through Gaiser Financial Group. Gaiser Financial Group is a separate and unaffiliated entity of Advisory Alpha LLC. While tax and legal services may be discussed in the general course of financial and investment planning, Advisory Alpha does not provide tax or legal services. Please consult with your tax or legal professional prior to making decisions related to these issues. This material is not endorsed or approved by the Social Security Office or any other government agency. An annuity is a long-term financial product designed largely for asset accumulation and retirement needs. All guarantees are backed by the claims-paying ability of the issuing insurance company. All opinions expressed by externally cited sources are solely their own opinions and do not reflect the opinions of Advisory Alpha. This is for informational purposes only and should not be relied upon for investment decisions. The case studies presented reflects the specific circumstances of one client and should not be considered a guarantee that another client or potential client may experience the same or certain level of results. This is for informational purposes only and should not be construed as investment recommendations or solicitation. Names have been changed to protect the anonymity of clients and are not testimonials in nature.